All right, guys, for your algebra review this week, and what should be your last algebra review. Congrats on that. We can do some rational exponents. All your exponent rules, but fraction exponents is what rational means. So we're going to get through this pretty quickly. Let you get your work done. The last algebra review of the year, hopefully. Depends on how things go. We'll talk about that later. All right, here's the main rule you need to see. And this works both ways. If you have a fraction exponent like this, if you were in my class today, I'd be saying bottom is the root, top is the power, bottom is the root. If a fraction exponent like this one, the denominator is the root and the numerator is the power. So if you see something, well, for example, like this one right here, the first one, b to the 2/3 power, the bottom number is the root, which means it's the cube root of b squared. And it works both ways. If you see it this way, you can write it as a fraction exponent by putting the root in your denominator and the power in your numerator. So the second one says x to the 3/5 power. The bottom is the root. You can say it's the 5th root of x cubed. And that's all there is. I just want to remind you how to do these fraction exponents. All right, they're going to put some numbers with them. And my advice is always do the denominator part first. So make it a little bit bigger there. On the first one, I'm going to say, okay, do the 2 first. It means the square root of 25, which is 5, but I still have that third power. Everybody knows 5 to the 3rd power is 125. That's all you got to do. Number on the bottom here, that means cube root. The cube root of 27 is 3. Still have the 2. 3 squared is 9. And this one's a little bit tricky. I put one more thing in here to see if you remember it. And if not, this is why we're doing it. The number on the bottom is a 2. So I'm going to take the square root of 49, which is 7. But this time I have a negative 3. So if I raise 7 to the 3rd power, I get 343, but the negative exponent means you have to flip it. So you really get 1 over 343. So remember, negative exponent, in case you forgot, negative exponent means you flip. The 3 means you raise it to the 3rd power. All right, don't forget this rule. When you have two terms that are multiplied together like this, they have to be the same base, like both bases are a, so we're good. All you do is you add your exponents up. So a to the 2/7 times a to the 4/7 is a to the 6/7. If you want to write that as a radical, you'd write the 7th root of a to the 6th, because the bottom number is the root, the top number is the power. All right, gonna go backwards here. This is write in exponential form. Can't make those any bigger, tried to earlier. So the first one says the 4th root of 63. Because it's a 4th root, the 4 would go on the bottom. 63 doesn't have an exponent, which means it's raised to the 1st power. So it's 63 to the 1, that's terrible, 1/4 power. Sorry about that, 1/4. On the second one, I have 3 things inside that radical. All have a cube root, so I'm going to say 7 to the 1/3. Watch what I do with the x. X to the 2/3, because it has a 2 as an exponent, 3 as a power, y to the 1/3. And that's all there is to it. All right, one more slide. All right, and last of all, and then one more exponent rule that I want to review with you. If you have a 1 exponent and it's raised to another exponent, that is when you actually multiply your exponents together. So when I work this out, I'm going to say 2/3 times 3/4. And when I do that, the 3's would cancel, which will leave me with 2/4. So we all know 2/4 is really 1/2. So it's b to the 1/2 power. So when you have a power raised to another power, that's when you multiply the exponents. Remember, when you do multiplication, you add the exponents. So this is one day I kind of wish you were in class. I got some great gestures for these. I know you're disappointed you don't get to do those, but they would really help you. So your assignment will be in a Google Doc today, I think, or maybe Delta Math. Just have to check and see. I'm making this video a long time in advance, so if Delta Math is good, I'll use it. If not, it'll be a Google Doc. Everybody turns this in. This will be your last algebra review of the year, so please do it. Have a great weekend. See ya.